Hey, you guys, welcome to today's reading. And today we're going to tap into Drake, which this is going to be kind of general, but more geared toward the industry and how they're viewing him, as well as how he's viewing the industry as well, and just kind of gauge what's going on with him musically. And then at the end, as always, we'll do some future predictions on him. I fully expect that the lawsuit is going to pop up in this energy, but we'll see. But yeah, let's tap into Drake. Let's see where he stands currently. All right, and then everything said today is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of Drake fans in the comments, but let me know what y'all think down below once the reading is over. All right, so let's see. What's Drake's current energy right now? What is his current energy? What is he focused on? What is Drake's current energy? To jump out. All right, we have past life, me versus me. At the bottom, we have divine intervention. It feels like already that he may be going through a lot of self reflection because even in the past life, I heard everything used to be all good back then. And I heard like young money, like everything was literally all good in the past. I didn't have all these troubles that I have now. And I feel like a lot of things that he's encountered over the last couple of years, from the beef he had with Kendrick, from the label issues, even up until now, had this happened maybe 10 years ago, 5, 10 years ago, it would have never gotten to this point, is what I'm feeling like, or at least he feels in the energy. But it's almost like there's a lot of self-reflection, and he is getting a little bit older as well. I thought he was already in his 40s, but right before the reading, I did see that his age was 39. So, he might be just going through a lot of reflecting just in general, just because he is getting a little bit older and where he sees himself in the future. But yeah, just thinking about the past and how far he's come as well is what I'm getting to. So, all right, let's see what else. I feel like also energetically, the persona we're getting from him publicly is not how he is privately. All right, and then we have shadow work, and then I did mention he has the self-reflective type of energy. Feel like just going very deep into his wounds, what he's experienced over the last couple of years. I don't know. I just see him like sitting outside alone, like on a balcony with a drink in his hand, just kind of thinking and looking up at the stars, like something like that is what I'm getting visually for him. All right, then we have CEO energy. CEO energy. All right. And then we have ascension, spiritual growth. So there's two things here. For the CEO energy, it feels like there's some business endeavors that he is working on and focusing on, because I saw OVO. So there could be some collaborations, or like I heard special projects that they could be working on right now for OVO. Feels more business than it does like music. Is OVO a label? I don't know. But it just feels more like business venture. I don't know. I just heard advertising. Yeah, there's something like business venture in that energy, and I feel like he's tapped into that as well. And then the ascension, just for me, just confirms that he is reflecting the spiritual growth, higher awareness. And I don't know that Drake, at least I don't know him to be a very spiritual person, but he very well could be. Like I said, it just feels like just still like self-reflecting, going within. My personal battery, like as I'm reading into his energy, he must be very low on energy or very tired, because I'm starting to feel tired myself. Like I'm not sleepy, but my body is just like winding down. So it feels like for him, he may just literally be very tired, just energetically, because like he's going through a lot. I also feel like allegedly he may have depressive episodes, because I heard depression, but it doesn't feel like it's a clinical depression. It just feels like it kind of just comes and goes. But what is he focused on? Because this is his current energy, but what is he focused on? What is he currently focused on? I heard IG when I saw Plastic Smile. Payback. Consequences returning, karma cycle, what goes around comes around, time to settle accounts. For payback, I heard lawsuit. So I know I believe the latest update I saw with the lawsuit was that he was appealing the dismissal of it. So it feels like that's also something he's focused on too, is the appeal of said lawsuit. I don't know where they stand currently in that process. I'm sure it takes some time, but it's almost like that's something that he's also very much focused on as well. I just heard his lawyers, so yeah, that's something that he is working on. It doesn't sound like there's anything that's going to deter him, but I'm gonna see if I can pull some tarot cards later. So let me actually add that to the list. Okay, so yeah, so we had the lawsuit and then the plastic smiles. Like I mentioned, I heard IG. So on social media, he may just be showing one side of himself that's not 100% authentic. He's having to keep a smile on his face, act like everything's okay, but in reality, it's not. And that's why I mentioned I just feel like depressive episodes in his energy currently. So that's a side of him that obviously we'll probably never ever see, but behind the scenes, he's going through a lot. And we may not see that when he posts on social media, and it's not authentic. It's just for the sake of y'all won't see me sweat. And then we have booked and busy, which popped up. So there's productivity high, full schedule, no time to waste, success on the calendar. So not only is he acting like everything's okay, he has a lawsuit. It also feels like he just booked with a lot of things. OVO, I heard music, I heard label too. So he's very busy right now because not only is he having the lawsuit with UMG, he also has another lawsuit where he's getting sued. I don't want to look it up. I don't want to take away from the readings. I have to look it up. But the other one where it's the lawsuit with him and Aiden Ross and a couple of other people where they're getting sued. It's like on betting. I don't know the specifics around it, but he's named in that lawsuit. So yeah, he's a very busy man. He has his hand in a lot of things right now. All right, let's see what else. Wake up call, spiritual awakening, sudden clarity, urgent awareness, can't ignore anymore. I feel like when that lawsuit that came up, the one with him and Aiden Ross, that one I feel like caught him off guard. It feels like at first he didn't take it as serious as he should have, but once he started getting some more clarification from his attorneys and from other people, it's almost like that was the wake up call for him that I cannot keep putting this off. I just heard like it feels like it was a mistake. Like it was a mistake for him to get involved in it. All right, and then lesson learned, jumped out, wisdom gained, completing cycles. I'm wiser now. Remember, I said a minute ago, he's doing a lot of self reflecting. It just feels like because he's getting older, he's just thinking about the past and how far he's come, what he's done. Yeah, just a lot of self reflecting in his energy. Y'all, like I'm telling you, I just keep seeing him on the balcony with a drink, looking up at the stars, like in the middle of the night, just thinking about everything that he's dealing with right now, what he has dealt with in the past. I would say he would benefit a lot from like therapy, like a very tight NDA therapy, talking to somebody. But yeah, it just feels like he's trying to deal with a lot of stuff on his own too, allegedly. How does he view the industry at this current moment? How does he view the music industry at this current moment? Brand new, fresh beginnings, reinventing yourself, watch me shine. Well, there have been talks about the industry kind of shifting a lot because I saw that maybe over the last year or so, there have been a lot of like label layoffs. I would say over the last couple of years, label layoffs, leadership changes. So it's almost like he's doing the industry as changing right now. There might be a changing of the guard that he's starting to see and also be impacted by as well. And it's interesting we have brand new for how he's viewing the industry, but then when I pulled his current energy, and it had the past life card, which is right here, I was getting that he was thinking about everything he's going through, and then I heard Young Money. So it's almost like, yes, the past was great, things were really good, but he recognizes that the industry is not what it once was. Like back then, it's definitely changed a lot over the past few years or so. But let's see what else. How else is he viewing the industry? Clarify brand new. All right, so we have cuffing season, temporary relationships. It feels like from that card, because the temporary relationships, this is almost giving me that he recognizes that with this turnover, it's a combination of things, right? Like he has to build these new relationships with these new label heads, these new staff members. He's having to essentially establish those relationships, but he's also recognizing that even some of the current relationships he has with people in the industry are temporary, or probably more temporary than he thinks or that he thought. I'm gonna pull one more card, see get some clarity. Let's all right, situational, testing the waters. I know these are like relationship cards, but look how we have temporary twice, and then we have testing the waters. So it's almost like with the shift of the changes that are going on in the industry, he just feels like, or at least the energy just feels like how he perceives them is that this is all going to change. I just heard UMG, so I don't know if he knows something that we don't know that's going on in the background, but it's almost like he's not really too much caring about building. Like he knows he should, like he knows that it's inevitable for him to build these relationships with these people, but it's like he doesn't care to create long-term relationships with these folks. Like he knows that something is about to happen, something is about to shift. Yeah, because it just feels very temporary in the industry. Like it's almost like he's waiting for something to happen almost. And I wonder if that's why he hasn't released music yet, but I can pull about that. For testing the waters, it feels like that lawsuit was the testing of the waters to see how far he could get with it. I don't think he thought that the case was going to be dismissed altogether. And I can't recall what the reasoning for why it was dismissed, but it was almost like that lawsuit in itself was Drake allegedly testing the actual waters. Like he knew he felt yes, did he feel wronged by UMG? Yes. But it's just almost like had this been, like I said, a couple years ago, he probably would have never done this. He definitely took a leap of faith to do this, to create this lawsuit. And that's probably why the temporary energy is coming up in his energy, because he just felt like he didn't need to build on those relationships. Not only because of the lawsuit, but because of the changing of the guard within the industry and the different shifts that are happening. I don't know if you guys have like noticed it, but look at all the news, the headlines, different things that are happening in the industry. The Epstein files aren't making it any better, but there's a lot of things that are happening and a lot of things that are shifting. So I think he's also preparing for that as well. So now I'm going to change gears and ask, how does the industry view Drake currently? How does the industry view Drake at this present moment? Bag secured. That's interesting. Behind date. Bag secured. Yes, they do view him as a moneymaker, as one of the top hit makers, money generators, all those things. However, the blind date, as I mentioned, there is changing of the guard, new introductions, new teams, new staff, different staff that he's worked with, and just feel like new people he has to collaborate with. And with the industry, how they perceive him is that when these conversations were happening, discussions I heard around his music, it might have been awkward because what they envisioned for him is not what he envisioned for himself. I just heard new direction, so perhaps they were advising him to change himself musically. I just heard Kendrick's name in my mind, so I don't know what that's about. I don't get that they wanted the beef to keep going. There's just something about just the musicality of it all with what he's been putting out. And then gaslighting, you're imagining things. It feels like with the gaslighter card, how they perceive him as somebody that I keep going back to the reality distorted, where they feel like Rick is somebody that does not see things for what they actually are. Because even in the lawsuit with UMG, it was almost like, why are you trying to sue the very label that helped you get over on the system yourself? It's like the call is coming from inside the house almost, right? Like the same thing you're accusing Kendrick of doing, we've allegedly done similar tactics for you as well. And I feel like that's also why he was very comfortable with going through with the lawsuit, because he knows how it works. But you, in a sense, did the similar tactics in a sense. But I'm not going to get into all of that. But it's almost like that. They just feel like Drake does not have a true picture of the real world. And I feel like that's also what contributed to why he lost the lawsuit, allegedly. Self-Care Sunday, I feel like they could also be very aware of his moods and how busy he is and how much work he's putting in. That the industry also views Rick as someone that should probably take a break as well, because these are people that he works with day to day, so they're very much privy to him on a different level. So they can probably tell that he works a lot. So it could be just one of those things where they just view him as somebody that is a moneymaker, but a very busy man. It doesn't feel like he's somebody that's easy to get in contact with, even from the industry perspective. All right, so now I want to know, where does he stand in the industry? So perception aside, where does he stand in the industry? Where does Drake stand in the industry currently? Ooh, what I just heard is like not what I want to say on camera. It's nothing bad, but I just heard like they can't take your boy out or something like that. So, so after the Kendrick beef, he does not have good standing with certain people. I feel like certain producers. It just feels like there's something about like production that he may not ever be able to work with because of the beef, because of alliances. Like for example, like a DJ Mustard, or I don't know if him and Travis Scott are cool, but anyways, it's giving like he can't call on certain people anymore just because of the beef that happened, and people have just literally picked a side. And so you all watching know how that goes. So the on red just really speaks for itself. The soul contracts, I immediately heard he sold his soul. He's going to continue to make money in this industry. That's why I said at first I heard they tried to get rid of your boy, but they couldn't, or something like that. Even if they were to like blacklist Drake, he would probably do like the same route as Nicki Minaj, where he's still literally going to make money regardless of what anybody says, as much as they try to blackball him, blacklist him. Like he has a huge fan base. He brings in big numbers regardless. So, and he has allegedly signed himself over to them anyways. Also, side note, it feels like he also has to do some rituals, even though he does speak out about them and speak against them. He still participates in certain things related to the industry, allegedly. He's not above doing some of those things. And even if he gets blacklisted, he won't be completely blacklisted, but it would just be more so like people picking sides. It wouldn't be the industry turning their back completely on him. So, but yeah, he's going to be paid regardless. So it wouldn't even matter. But that's where he stands in the industry. I guess I'll just tap into the lawsuit with UMG. So how does he currently feel? What is the current energy of Drake in this lawsuit with UMG and the appeal? What is the current energy of Drake in this lawsuit and the appeal? Money moves. It's just the fact that the let it go card came like to just release the entire situation, because the money that's being spent on attorneys, lawyer fees, he could be spending that on himself, his music, his businesses. It just feels like he's pouring money down the drain for the upkeep of this lawsuit and everything that's tied to it. But there's a call for him to let this entire situation just go and move on. Because like I said, how are you going to sue the very label or company that has helped you do similar things? Like for me, I just don't understand it. But yeah, there's definitely a call for him to let this entire lawsuit go. I'm going to put one more card and then we'll move on. Behind the mask, hidden emotions, concealing true self, afraid to show reality, no one sees the real me. Remember the gaslighted card for how the industry is perceiving Drake? And I'm going to pull it so y'all can see it. Yep, the gaslighted card. I told you the industry, how they perceive him as somebody that does not view reality for what it is. And to me, this behind the mask card kind of confirms that. Not only is he not seeing it for what it is, it feels like this lawsuit was also a way for him to also hide behind the tactics that he's used before in the past, oddly enough. And I feel like to a degree, when these tactics were used to help Drake, on the flip side, he knows some things, but I feel like he doesn't know everything that they have done on his behalf. So this could be like buying streams, this could be bot farms, this could be a lot of different things they may have done, like marketing packages, but it just feels like they haven't told him everything they've done to help his career, allegedly. As far as the behind the mask goes, actually all these cards, he needs to let the entire situation go because I feel like if he keeps poking the bear, it's not going to be good for him. I feel like they were probably, I heard smear campaigns. He's been under a smear campaign for a long time now, a couple years really. But I feel like him continuing with this lawsuit is just going to continue said smear campaigns against him if he continues the way that it is. I'll pull a couple more oracle cards to tap into Drake's energy, and then we'll move on to the tarot. So let's see what Drake's energy, these other oracle cards. Excess. Is that too much gluttony? As I was pulling that last card, I heard pipe down. That was kind of rude. I wanted to clarify the excess too much gluttony card, and then I got the chaos magic card. And then if you look at the chaos magic card, look at the mind. It's almost like, and I say again, there's just this disconnect between how he views reality versus what reality actually is. There's just some type of disconnect here. And I wonder if that's why like pipe down came up in my mind. It gives me like cocky energy, like somebody that has all the answers. And that's interesting because before the reading, and as I was like writing down the questions I wanted to ask, and as I asked this question, I saw a little kid crying on the floor, throwing a tantrum for Drake. So that could be his energy where he throws tantrums allegedly for entertainment purposes only. And it's similar to a child in a sense. Parents are telling you, no, it's not good for you. You think you know it all. Yeah, there's just this cocky type of energy that, and I'm not one to tell someone to like dim their light or fix their confidence or anything like that, but it just comes off a little arrogant. Also, I'm channeling that it rubs the spirits the wrong way too. That's different. The game over. Let me clarify the game over. Game over. We have dirt digging, invasive, nosy, and I heard the lawsuit. So yes, he needs to let this lawsuit go. He needs to let it go. Okay. And then we have projection. So he could be allegedly projecting on the entire situation. That's why spirits are saying like he needs to temper it down a notch. He's doing way too much and is going to get in a world of hurt if he continues on. All right, and pull a couple more cards and then we'll move on. I don't know why I keep seeing his mom. Deity, divine creator, supreme being. I'm telling y'all, like, if he does not let this lawsuit go, he is going to bleed money and he is also going to be in a world of hurt. I'm telling y'all, again, like I said, it rubs the spirits the wrong way. And I can just feel that. I feel like I wonder if that's why I'm getting like really tired just reading him. And the Most High is literally telling me in this reading that he needs to let it go. And then guilt, remorse, regret. Yeah, if he does not let this go, he is going to be in a world of hurt. That is literally what I heard. It feels like it's more of like smear campaign, but I don't know if this is like spiritual judgment energy. I'm not sure, but I'll let the tarot let me know that. But this is heavy in his energy for him to tamper it down. Start humble yourself. Yeah, he needs to let the lawsuit go for sure. And he needs to also manage his level of arrogance when it comes to certain things. I don't know why I keep getting his mom again. Actually, it feels like she's like enabling his behavior. I'm not getting that from his father. I feel like his dad will probably tell him more truths than he wants to hear. It just gives me spoiled child energy, guys. Like I said, I saw a child throwing a temper tantrum even before I even did the reading when I was just writing down what I was going to ask. And he's going to regret it if he does not let this go. All right, I'm going to switch gears and now I'm going to move on to the tarot. I'm going to start with the current energy and then we'll tap into where he stands in the industry. I'm telling you, even right now, this is giving me the same energy as the lawsuit. We have Six of Pentacles. Like I said, it feels like he's just bleeding money to his attorneys. Not only with the lawsuit with UMG he's trying to appeal, but also the lawsuit with, I think it's Stake, the one with Aiden Ross. Because of the things that he's taken a leap of faith for, that he saw opportunities for, he just wanted to take the leap without considering them seriously. In the backlash that was gonna, hope y'all can hear me now, the backlash that would have come from these lawsuits or has already come from the lawsuits. Because in the oracles I said that I heard pipe down. The Five of Swords to me is just giving me that even behind the scenes, he needs to watch how he talks to these people, like how he's communicating even just during the lawsuits, because that level of arrogance is going to bite you. Because there could be like arguments, disagreements. I know how this should be done, but you don't have all the answers. But it feels like he just wants it my way. I just saw BK, like Burger King, like have it your way, but that's not the case for him. This is not Burger King. So yeah, he's definitely gonna have to humble himself in these situations so that he does not suffer the consequences, not only in the legal system, but also the spiritual side as well. All right. Temperance. For Drake currently, it feels like things are out of balance for him. And it feels like that's also contributing to why he's having alleged depressive episodes behind closed doors. Like, he can have a new beginning, but he needs to figure out how to balance everything that's going on with him, because temperance is literally tempering your emotions. So that's something he should definitely work on, and humbling himself. He needs to work on achieving balance though in this situation. And he does not have all the answers. Like, I just keep feeling that. It's like you just literally can't tell him nothing almost. All right, so that's his current energy. I don't think there's really nothing else to ask about that. But let's see, where does he currently stand in the industry? Okay, we have the Hermit and Ace of Cups. Again, it's like introspection, look going within. But I'm also getting not only that, but he's separated from the industry. Like, the Hermit is giving me just, he's alone. He's like separating himself to, like, physically. He's not really, there's her like not going to parties or events. So he's very isolated to a degree. Not like self-isolation, doesn't feel like, but it just feels like he just is not interested to be around a whole lot of people right now, especially in this emotional state that he's going through, because I still get depression type of energy here, where I don't think he can really trust himself to be around certain people as well to see that on him. But it's just something about separating himself, so that because of his emotions and how he's currently feeling right now. And like I said, that's why it just feels like that's why he's not going to like industry parties or events. We don't really see Drake out like that with like the paparazzi, other than him like going to a restaurant or something to do with like streamers. Like, it doesn't feel like he's just into being seen in the public eye, at least on an emotional level. All right, and then we have Seven of Pentacles here. But I feel like some of this stuff is self-inflicted. It doesn't give me that the industry is shunning him or telling him he can't go to these things. I feel like they would definitely they would definitely want the PR and the ability to say that Drake went to this event. We were able to see Drake, take pictures with Drake. Like, I don't feel that, but it's almost like this is something that is of his own doing. I feel like it's also a little probably better this way for him to do it like this, like him just stepping away publicly from industry things or events or things like that. Because the Seven of Pentacles to me is just telling me that this is the harvest that he is reaping right now. So that's where he currently stands in the industry, just not going to public events, not really showing his face too much. It's still giving like a little bit of an air of mystery, like what does Drake have going on? But for him, it's just more of an emotional level versus appearance wise. So where does he actually sit in the industry power structure right now? Where does he actually sit in the industry power structure right now? Oh, that's interesting, because he is very much a Scorpio. He is King of Cups. So to me, this gives me his position has not changed. It does not feel like he's somebody that has lost status. He's still one of the top rappers in the industry. I was hoping for a court card, but if he had been like a page or a knight or a queen, then I would have said, okay, he took a hit definitely to his industry power. But it feels like Drake hasn't been moved at all. Like, he can still move numbers. And as far as the industry power structure, he's still on top as, like I said, one of the number one rappers in the world currently. I mean, debate with your mama, but energetically, that's what it feels like as far as the industry power structure goes. Put him up against anybody. If he sells an album like back to back with anybody, Drake is probably going to go number one regardless. So I don't think that his standing has really too much changed. His reputation did take a hit with the beef, which understandably so, but he still was competitive in it. So if he would have backed down, I think that would have hurt him a lot. But currently, he's fine. He's still at the top. That hasn't changed. If y'all are wondering, it just feels like his ego may have been hurt a little bit because of everything that happened. But aside from that, it's still the same. Does he have any behind the scenes alignments that protect his position? Does he have any behind the scenes alignment that protects his position? Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We have two queen cards here. This could be a water sign. This could also be an air sign. But it could just literally just be two queens with the same type of personalities that fit those elements. But it feels like there are two women here that he has relationships with. Obviously not romantic, but this feels like business alliances, industry alliances, or whomever this is. It could be label heads or executives that still enjoy Drake and they still see it for him. And these alliances are literally keeping him where he is, or helping to keep him where he is. I just heard smart women. So, but it feels like more business relationship type of alliances, men in the industry. If y'all have suspicions on who that is, y'all let me know. It doesn't feel like these women are artists. I'm not getting that. I'm just literally getting some women that know what they're doing. I heard know how to market him. This feels very behind the scenes. They know what they're doing type of energy. So if y'all know or have suspicions on who this may be, let me know down in the comments below. All right, is his influence growing or is it slowly declining? Is his influence growing or slowly declining? Five of Pentacles. Oh. And then I want to point out we have Six of Swords. Influence is not in these cards, but there is money in these cards. We have Five of Pentacles, and then we have the Sun, and then we have Six of Swords. Because remember, I told you guys in the Oracle cards, if he did not let this lawsuit go, temper himself, he was going to suffer greatly or have I don't know, I can't remember what Spirit said, but it was going to have a negative impact on him. And Five of Pentacles is a card of debt and poverty. But then we have the Sun, which is like exposing the truth. So this could be the lawsuit itself, exposing different things. But the Six of Swords at the bottom is still telling me he needs to leave it behind because look, she's on the boat, and you see the hooded figure on the boat, leaving behind this toxic situation. His influence declining or growing? I say neither, but his finances are at a potential of continuously declining, allegedly. So this is more of a money answer, but I wouldn't say it's growing or declining. It just feels like it's like a steady, like at a steady state. Like I'm seeing the heartbeat monitor, like at the hospital, the dun. So yeah, it just feels like that part is pretty steady. But as far as his money goes, that's at risk right now, on the decline, allegedly. What is he most afraid of losing? What is he most afraid of losing currently? It feels like what he's most afraid of losing is a favorable outcome. So that could be the lawsuits themselves. It could be his album that's coming soon, I believe, or his single. I saw a promo for it somewhere, but it feels like whatever he's wishing for, that it won't come into fruition. The Strength card is interesting because to me, it's giving like he's afraid of losing power behind the scenes. I heard industry power. So that's something that does cross his mind, where he may not be as high up as he used to be as a result of everything he's done thus far. So that is something that he does consider. Two of Wands to me, I don't know why I just heard freedom. So afraid of losing his freedom, and that could be like freedom as an artist because he has so much industry power. He doesn't really have to take too many suggestions or restrictions from the label because he is Drake. So he has a little bit more power into making those decisions. But it's almost like he just wants to ensure that he doesn't lose that freedom to make the music he wants to make or have the businesses that he has. So that's something he does consider because, like I said, he has allegedly signed his name on the dotted line to that soul contract, and who knows what's in there, right? So what is his private persona versus his public persona? What is his private persona? Let's do that one first. Oh, that came out fast. Queen of Pentacles. What? All right, and then public persona. What is his public persona? He has two queen cards for his personas, which is really interesting. Private persona, he feels like somebody that's probably very grounded behind closed doors, very nurturing too, because it feels like even the child here feels like that's like his son. So that's a side of him, obviously, we don't see, but he could very much be somebody that's very grounded behind closed doors and very nurturing to his son, allegedly. I heard close, so they could probably be very close father-son bonds. The public persona is interesting because we have Queen of Wands here, which is like to me a very celebrity woman, but in his case, how he comes off could be Queen of Wands type of energy, very fiery. I don't know why I heard dramatic. And then we have Eight of Cups, so that's like leaving something behind, but it's still water because it's cups. I'm going to clarify this Eight of Cups. All right, the Moon. Public persona, it feels like I heard orchestrated, but then I heard it's almost like somebody putting your image together on how you should be perceived, because the Eight of Cups in the Moon clarifier is telling me that he had to walk away from who he truly is as far as how he acts in the public, how he shows off, or how he shows himself, essentially. He had to walk away from that image, the true image of who Drake is, that he could be viewed as this Queen of Wands in the public. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it's 100% authentic. It's more so of an image that was put together. The Drake we have seen from 08, 07, whenever he first came out up until 2026, he does not look the same, y'all. Like, come on, he does not look the same. So it's very much a look that the industry has put on him, or he may put it on himself. But I literally heard orchestrated. So yeah, I think his image, they had to clean his image up, or they had an image for him, and he had to go make a switch, because Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands are two totally different energies. So like I said, behind closed doors, very grounded. I feel like he's much more serious behind closed doors than we see him as. But in public, we just see him as this fiery type of energy. But he had to walk away from who he truly is because it's a secretive energy of them trying to hide the real Drake. I want to do a lawsuit prediction, and then I'll do near future for Drake. All right, so what's going to be the outcome of the UMG lawsuit? I'm not touching that stakes one with Aiden Ross because I feel like that's going to lead me down a deeper hole. With the current energy, what is going to be the outcome of the UMG lawsuit appeal? The current energy is telling me that he's not going to be able to appeal this lawsuit. We have Five of Cups. That's literally regret, shame, which we had the regret, shame earlier in the Oracle cards again. Three of Cups, immediately, I was getting that is the label. They're going to be celebrating this win, allegedly. And Ace of Pentacles, to me, is giving literally Drake bleeding money, like I said, to his attorneys because they have to file paperwork on his behalf. But if you look closer at this card, you see him giving a pentacle out. It's literally pouring out money. I told y'all, it feels like he's bleeding money for this entire lawsuit to his attorneys. So yeah, I'm not feeling that he's going to be able to appeal the lawsuit. I have not read the paperwork, so I don't know exactly what's in there as to what he's appealing specifically. But the energy is just telling me I don't see it right now. I don't see him winning this appeal, at least right now. So I'm gonna do future prediction for him. All right. So what's Drake's near future? What's Drake's near future? What is the Seven of Swords? Sorry, I'm trying to make sure y'all can see it. So we have Seven of Swords, the Page of Swords, and then Three of Swords for clarifier. A lot of swords energy here. I feel like going forward, Drake is going to be under scrutiny moving forward and scrutiny under the eyes of the industry. I feel like they're going to be watching him a lot, just in general, because we have Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords to me. So it's like heartbreak because of some underhanded tactics, some sneaky backhanded tactics, and surveillance. So I'm getting the energy of the industry is literally watching for him to slip up. I heard nail in the coffin. Also getting the energy of Kendrick. I don't know what he has to do with the near future for Drake, but it just feels like going forward, they're going to be scrutinizing him a lot, whether he wins this UMG lawsuit appeal or not. He's going to be under scrutiny. It feels like it's on Nicki Minaj's face. So how they treat Nicki is how they're going to be treating Drake going forward, allegedly. He's not going to be at the same level as how they have done her or doing her, but don't be surprised if you see the same treatment from the industry going forward in the public as they do Nicki. Like, do not be surprised. It's going to be similar. I just heard Young Money, so it could just really just be Young Money, the artist in general. So him, Nicki, and Wayne. But they have their eyes on Drake though. I just heard misstep. So any type of misstep he has or does, oh, they're gonna make a public spectacle about it. It's like they're not playing with him now. I feel like I want to put one more card, and then I'm really gonna close it for real. And then we have the Hierophants, and then we have Four of Wands. Is he in a relationship? I don't know. I just saw like the mother of his son, his baby mother. I don't think they're like in an actual relationship, but I feel like if he's not married soon, he will be at some point or considering marriage. But I feel like that would be for image purposes, though. I don't feel like love in this because no other love cards have come up for Drake. He may have thought about or is thinking about finding a marriage partner in the near future, allegedly. But I'm not feeling that it would be like a romantic type of thing. I don't know. I just saw Kanye West in my mind. So Kanye and what's his wife's name? Bianca. I don't know her last name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I just saw them, so it would probably be something like that. Yeah, but I just feel like there might be a marriage partner for him in the near future, or he's considering it. But like I said, it does not feel like love. It just feels like it would be just for image and to say I did it allegedly. So, all right, well, that's all I have to read on Drake. But good luck to him on his lawsuit. He's gonna need it, and that's all I got. So thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate your support. If anything in this reading resonates with you all, let me know down in the comments below. Or if there are any flags or signs or anything like that that you can confirm for me, I would appreciate it as well. But that's all I got today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.